If Mr. Lilywhite arrives, we could come back to that one on the agenda.
Okay. I just want to make a comment. During 2021, we've called a couple of special meetings to come in for street closures. I'd like to go on record saying that starting January of 2022, we're not going to have special meetings for street closures. If there are events that citizens know about, groups know about, for a 5K run, for whatever reason they want street closures, they need to adhere to what the documents say, and they need to be submitted 60 days before the event. So we just want to make sure that people realize we're going to adhere to that this next year. So, moving into the next order of business, Mr. Porter, you do have some street closures.
See, we have two street closure requests. One is for the Veterans Day program on the 11th of November. It will be at 11 o'clock on the 11th day of the 11th month. That will be blocking Washington Street at the alley by Supersports, giving access around the square if someone needs to, blocking Jefferson Street at Morgan, simply so people don't get trapped, and then blocking Washington Street again at the BMO drive-through bank alley, and then blocking Jefferson Street on the south end at the alley here by City Hall. The program takes place in Veterans Memorial Park at the corner of Washington and Jefferson. Should last about an hour. We're going to suggest closing those streets no more than an hour in advance. And hopefully by 12:30 they'll be clear.
So they're going to have a program over here as opposed to on the courthouse square?
Courthouse Square is Memorial Day, Veterans Day is at Memorial Park.
I saw those ways the other way around.
And the courthouse is closed. Most banks and other businesses are closed on that day, so it shouldn't be too significant of an inconvenience on that particular holiday. And that would be on a Thursday.
Okay. Any questions from Mr. Porter?
No.
Any other discussion?
No.
Entertain a motion.
I'll move that we close that corner for the Veterans
Okay.
Day event.
I will second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Porter, you have another.
The second request is for the Fair and Square 5K run, scheduled for 2 days after Memorial Day on Saturday the 13th, beginning at 7:30. The start and end times are 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. In your package, you received the route. It would be down from the fairgrounds, following the traditional 5K run, except at Ohio Street, they will do a U-turn and head back to the east to Home Avenue, south on Home, New York, and then back around, going up Illinois Street to the fairgrounds and concluding there. My knowledge of this is somewhat limited. I don't see Mr. Wagner here to answer any questions. He was invited to send a representative for tonight's meeting.
So, on Washington Street, they're just going to come to Ohio and turn around and go back.
As I understand the information that was presented, yes.
So if Mr. Wagner was here, I guess I would question him about his volunteers that would be at the cutoff streets, because I believe it was the Artie Fest 5K that we had problems where volunteers were letting people go through. I just know that's a safety concern. I guess I don't have a problem
There's
with
25
the streets for this
intersections.
event, but I would like to question him about his volunteer base.
There are 25 intersections involved with this run. What we could do is request his presence at your meeting on the 4th, which is close to the event. That would be the other alternative.
on the application to close the streets, isn't there an area that states that it's the event's responsibility to have people at those intersections?
And I'll read straight from the application. It will be the responsibility of the organization to provide personnel at every, and area is capitalized, blocked intersection to ensure that no vehicles enter or cross the designated route during the time of the event of the closure. And that appears on the online version. It also appears in the printed version. And then there's a checkbox at the bottom stating that they understand those and the other policies as outlined in the application.
If I recollect correctly, that was put on after the event that Mr. Wagner sponsored before, right? Didn't we do that right after we had issues with that? So I guess I would just want to make sure he understood that. I don't have a problem closing the streets.
To give you some background, he originally submitted just a inquiry to the general mailbox of the city, and I deferred that back to him, saying he had to fill out the application because there was specific information he needed to know, and there was information that we needed to know, and that's why it was resubmitted on the correct form. So by doing so and stating that he approved and read it, we would be able to hold him responsible for those terms.
Any discussion or questions, Mr. Porter?
No further discussion.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll move that we close the streets for the 5K.
I will second. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed no. Motion carries. Mr. Oakes?
Good evening. Got three for you this evening. The first is by far the largest. It's for I-IWC Engineering on the Ohio Street project, and it's solely for the inspection of the project. You'll find these numbers as hard to believe as I do. This number is, and this is already approved by NDOT, and this is their recognition of what they think it should cost and we're willing to pay. The number is $407,405.95. And this is one person for maybe 9 months. You go, really? But that's what this contract will be at this point. It's not to exceed, fortunately, remember, but I can't imagine they can get anyone close to that. This is the I-IWC, this is the Ohio Street project, and this is the last phase that we have to contract for. $407,405.95.
Any questions for Mr. Oakes?
Is that coming out of the DOC, out of the NDOT?
And we're 80-20 in this, so 20% of this is still $80,000. It's awful, isn't it? Yeah.
I would entertain a motion on the consulting contract with I-IWC Engineering for $407,405.95.
So moved.
I will second the approval of the contract. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? No, motion carries. Okay, Gary, take us downhill from here.
The second one I have here for you this evening is an engineering contract also. This is with the railroad. This is related to our levee project. And if you can envision what levee begins up at 39 just south of the bridge, that makes it intersecting the railroad as it crosses about halfway, 2/3 of the way down. And as we intersect that, then we'll have to have a closure for that. So we're going to affect the railroad, we're going to affect the ballast of the railroad. There's a passageway for the tractors and other equipment to get underneath the railroad down through there as well. So we have to do closure documents with them. We'll do the design engineering, and this is for their review and approval of same. So their contract for removal and approval of same is $17,200. $17,200. And it's part of our levy contract. This is part of the grant funding. So in this case, about less than $10,000 is going to be ours. quite a bit less than 10,000. You take roughly a seventh of $17,200.
Any questions for Mr. Oaks?
No.
I would entertain a motion regarding the engineering cost reimbursement agreement with Minnesota Railroad.
Yes, I'll make a motion that we accept it.
And the cost, Gary, $17,200 estimated service cost, that's correct? I will second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. Motion carries.
Third last one I have for this evening is for our wastewater treatment plant. This is the phosphorus building we're completing down there. We're in really good shape. It's coming to closure quickly. This is in the amount of $18,298.96. This is roughly $1 million worth of construction we're doing, and this is the total of the change orders on this job. So we've really managed it well. Bussler Engineering has done this project, and we've kept it well within budget all the way through. So $18,298.96. This is the sum of 3 changes that you saw there. All 3 of those were really in relation to the storage building we have there. We decided midway through the project that we'd like to be able to put the vac trucks down there during the winter, so we can heat it and protect the buildings. We won't have freezing problems with those. And so these, put an apron on the outside and change the slope of the entrance to the garage doors, those kind of things. $18,298.96 is what that change order is.
Any questions for Mr. Oaks?
No.
And I would entertain a motion at this point for the change order for Graves Construction in the amount of $18,228.96.
I'll make a motion we accept the change order.
I will second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
So that was less than 2% for a change order on the job. And that's what you want to do on a project. You don't want to get a project out of control. What we've fought with the NDOT projects is we have no control there. We go with their procedures and have to do what they guide us to do.
Thank you, Gary. The sewer adjustments, we have 4 this month. 259 West Walnut Street, $399.73. 749 Prather Drive, $1,207.07. 950 Cloverleaf Court, $1,065.19. And 510 Duo Drive for $322.04. All of these looked and appeared to be in order. I did recognize that the one at Cloverleaf Court was the second claim this year.
Both of the ones that were over $1,000 were the second claims this year.
Well, I couldn't tell whether that was a 1 or a 2,
No.
so that was a 2.
I just, if we get to the third on those, I think I just would like for a little bit more detail about the good faith effort in getting them fixed.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to accept the sewer adjustments as presented.
I'll make the motion to accept them.
I will second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries. Our next regular meeting of the Board of Works and Safety will be on Monday, November 8th, 2021, 6:30 here in the council chambers. Becky, have you gotten all the documents back?
Not quite, I'm waiting on the sewer
Coming back to you. There being no further business, the board will be adjourned without objection.